Hey guys, I am making this video to show you the world that I created with my daughter over the course of about maybe 5 years, playing off and on. I haven't really logged in since I migrated my game over from the playful server. I'm still kind of getting used to the new controls um, and the new layout, I should say. So I'm going to play that. It looks like we're still connecting to something. I guess maybe we're just hosting on Steam as a server. I'm not sure how that works and how I invite people. I haven't really gotten that far yet, but we started this in about 2016, I believe. My daughter did some things, kind of helped me here and there, but mainly I did it myself. I did it before the. I originally started it without the pro version, and then I got the pro version once we got to the bottom of the world, and pretty much had all the blocks and fought the thing and all that. And I kind of felt like that was the end of the normal gameplay. So we bought the pro version. That way we could turn the bad guys off. Because at the time they did kind of scare my daughter. She was afraid of having bad guys sneak up on her and all that. So we turned the enemies off. But at that point we didn't actually have all the blocks to choose from. That came later with an update later on. So I am going to show you my world. Most of it was created by me, but I did use some templates just to kind of copy paste some of the structures that I didn't want to take the time to try to figure out how to make. And I did one whole little mini town. But most of it was me with some input from my daughter. I'm not sure how to turn on the creative mode that lets you fly. Yeah, not sure how to do that in here. I used to just hit escape, but if I hit spacebar twice, that used to let me fly, and now I can't. So some stuff has changed. I have to figure it out. It actually plays better. It's still a little laggy hosting it locally, but it plays better than it did on Playful Server. Once it got to a certain size and I had just tunnels in every direction, and I had stuff all over the map, but mainly what we would do would be every year on a certain date. Now the map is obviously reset since I migrated it, but every year on a certain date we'd head either north, south, east, west. We'd go to the edge of the map. It would get all foggy, and I believe it was water in every direction. And we'd put a statue just saying, that me and her were there, or me and both of my daughters were there on this date or whatever. And the more we kind of unlocked of the map and built things, and the more tunnels I had underground, the more laggy it would get, to the point where it was almost unplayable at a certain point. But hosting it locally, it seems to, I seem to have a little bit more horsepower to process everything, because there are a lot of placed blocks in this game. I really did a lot. I wish I could figure out how to fly, because that would make it a little better. I know there's the jetpack. I have to figure out how to use it again. The areas are also new, as if I've never been to them before. So now you could see the ship up in the air in the background. I did have one friend. It says that there's 12 players. At one point I made the game public because I thought it'd be cool to have other people contribute to the whole world. But I had a few people come in that didn't really look at it the way I did. I think they were kids. I wasn't completely sure, but I'm pretty sure that they just kind of wanted to mess around and do absolutely ridiculous things and try to. I know that you can lock your area so that they can't destroy stuff, but they just weren't the type of people I wanted messing around in my world that I created just over the course of years. So, um, anytime that I ever tried to, hey, that looks like an NPC down there. Anytime that I've ever tried to put it up for other people to join and open it up, I never really found anyone who just wanted to build cool things and expand on my area and kind of turn it into one cool big world. So I always ended up just kind of locking it, and I have one friend that I know personally. He has come on the game and played. He built that ship, and uh, he has some buildings that he did build in here, but not much. He's only played for a few hours, and he's only contributed so much. So this was supposed to be MetLife Stadium, New York Giants. This is not a template in any way. What I actually did was I created one side of the stadium and then made it a blueprint and then lined the blueprint up on the other side. So I only had to place every one of these seats on half the stadium instead of the entire thing. And every one of them is a custom color, and even the field I had to dye and all that. The stadium's not absolutely complete, but I put a lot of time into it. It was very, very time consuming. It was bigger than I thought it was going to be. It spilled out into the water a little bit, which wasn't my plan, and it ended up going right up against my little town that's over here. My plan was to build all private booths and kind of set that up all the way around. That kind of stuff is pretty tedious, so I like to do it kind of slowly, just a section at a time. Even just the internals of the staircases, trying to make it realistic. I was going to make the shops all around like you would have in a stadium like this. It is a work in progress. It took me quite a while. I'd say probably 20 or 30 hours to do this and have it work out. I had to redo things a few times and remeasure things and all that. Eiffel Tower is a blueprint, a template that I downloaded and just placed the blocks where they wanted me to. Same with this town. This town was from early on, and when the blueprints first unlocked, I saw somebody had this town in there, so I thought, yeah, that'll help me kind of expand my area. So I used a blueprint for that. I built a little canal system here. This building, it's kind of a little goofy, but it's my daughter's design with her input and all that. At the time, she wanted to be a baker, and this was her bakery. And she even has help. And I believe upstairs was going to be her apartment and all that. The great thing about this game, for me, is that it's been kind of a virtual scrapbook. Just over those years of my daughter's life. She's 11 now, and so everything she's wanted to do, like be a baker and all that, it's all kind of scrapbooked in here. So that's been it's pretty cool. I have a lot of memories in the game as I walk around. This was a hotel that I built at some point, again with my own help. And pool, and things like this that taught me how to place the water correctly. And I have rooms upstairs. I have access to mass transit, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And we're kind of working our way from the newest part of everything to the oldest part. I'll probably end where I first started. So there's that town, the template town. This was a tunnel that I built all the way to the bottom of the game. The white part down there is the furthest that you could go down. And I did all this before you could create your own blueprints, or at least before I figured out how to. So I placed every single one of these blocks. I made sure that the colors alternated in the same pattern all the way down. It was very time consuming, very tedious. Mario and Luigi, obviously, they're a blueprint. Didn't design them, just built them because at the time we were playing a lot of Mario games. So they liked them. This was a house that I built, and then it ended up kind of being my bank, and then my daughter took over the house anyway. This was the basement, but it ended up being my central point. You know, this is where I would warp to, my touchstones there. I had all my machinery. Again, this was before I had unlimited blocks, so I was able to load them all up, craft everything, custom make it, and then I had all my my storage in there, and it's all named. I had it all separated, and all of these thousands of blocks, they were all pulled by me. They weren't put in here again as having infinite amount or anything. It was all farmed. There's another entrance to mass transit, showers. It's supposed to be like a cool man cave basement, I guess. A little private tub. And I got the canal. I had warps for wherever I wanted to go. I used to actually remember where they all went, and now I don't. Up here we have the rest of the house, the actual house part of it. Bouncy house with all the bouncy blocks. Again, at the time when I built that, my daughter, all she wanted to do was go to bouncy places. So that was what was on our mind at the time. This is her tree house. This is a blueprint. I believe that was the first blueprint that I ever did. But the house I designed, actually we'll work our way this way. Mushroom House was a blueprint. That's supposed to be a little greenhouse. A little laggy as we're going into a new section with a lot. There's a lot underneath here also. So it's my pool. Made a little water slide with the fan that pushes you down into the water. A few different houses. Castle is a blueprint. I believe this house was too. This is supposed to be my wife's little in-game house. This was my original forge for crafting. That's all it was pretty much where I'd forge new materials from the raw materials. My original warp section, when I figured out how to create warps that would take you to individual places instead of just a general warp. There's warps that go to stuff that I have even forgot about, like experimental secret tunnel. Started mining through a mountain, and it turns out on the other side of that mountain it was underground, so I just mined forever. Let's see, this is my original bank until it just wasn't big enough. Still have just some miscellaneous things in here that I never moved over, never really used a whole lot, but and then my warp in here. That was my daughter by accident. Original castle. That was a blueprint when I was just trying to build a town overall. I am going to go back to here. I have a little barn, and my daughter did go through and name some of these years ago. This is when she was really into farms and barns and all that, the animals. So say she took the time to custom name them all. and they stay in place. We don't let them wander because they're her pets. She also has pets in her original mushroom house here. Um, this was my original house. It started obviously as a little hut, kind of like you would in Minecraft, where you're just looking for protection from bad guys, and then just kind of keep building off of that. And then just kept making it bigger and bigger, and then I connected our houses. Originally, it was because of the bad guys. You wanted to lock yourself up and stay indoors and all that whenever there were bad guys around, especially at night. So this little hole in the ground, this actually represents, so I can't fly up out of there, so I don't actually want to go down there. There's nothing really down there, but this was the first, where I built my first hut, and I made a little basement, and I eventually leveled all this out. We know the game isn't this level. All of it was hand leveled by me, originally without the extractors or excavators that take out the big chunks. This was done by hand, one block at a time, the whole area. And so eventually I kind of plowed over my starting point where I started the game, but down there is where it was. And seeing as how 6 years ago, it's pretty cool. It brings back memories. But this was custom built by me. This is for my other daughter. I thought it came out pretty well, and it was pretty homey and cozy, and she has her friends in here that she named, and just stuff that she thought was cool. And I even did a full basement for her with some fresh fire to keep you warm. You know, it'd be cold down there, with an in-ground pool in your basement. So, and second floor is supposed to be just more bedrooms and stuff like that. But once I kind of create this stuff, I do one idea and then I bounce to another, and I never completely finish a lot of it. Even my pyramid over here, that my plan was to make that a maze where you had to try to find your way up. There'd be dark areas, all that. You'd find your way up to the top. But that wasn't easy. And once the fun of creating the pyramid and leveling it all out, once that was done, then it was hard to stay inspired to finish it completely. Maybe one day I will. So we got a little hotel here that was a blueprint. And then we're going to head over. Again, this was the section of the map where I did start. When I started the game, I just kind of started building in every direction, but got a couple other, besides the castle, there's a couple blueprint buildings. There's the first hotel that I made. I spent quite a while on that, even though it's not that big. Again, I had to craft the blocks and all that originally, and create the elevators to take you up to the floors, and they work? They used to work. I guess they don't anymore. But a couple floors, took me quite a while, because again, even the anything that looks iron, that requires iron, I had to go down and just keep using excavators and all that. This was my attempt at a haunted house. I think that was a blueprint that I customized, and the plan was to put all kinds of scary stuff inside. I think there is a thing inside, actually, that I tamed, which was obviously not easy. They're not easy to tame. But this is going to be our haunted house. This was a blueprint with all harvested wood. Hey, I'm in a new area. This was something that I took on that took a long time. This is my cathedral. This was done early, where I had to craft everything, including these seats. It was a lot of obsidian. I remember that. This was years ago. And I think this is a shortcut to... I don't even know where that is. This is just a general warp I see. And... okay. Well, anyway, that was the cathedral. But no, it wasn't built with blueprints or anything like that. It really was just taking one block at a time and placing it and resizing it if I didn't think what I wanted in there was going to fit and all that. It really, I have hundreds of hours into this game. Don't think, besides that castle, which, again, it was still like 10,000 blocks or 20,000 blocks or something, and that was before I had unlimited blocks, so I harvested all that to build that. But it's a blueprint. I don't try to claim any credit for those. I didn't design it. I just put the blocks where they wanted me to. I do have tunnels down. I think they're behind these walls now from one of my original houses here. I do have tunnels all down underground, all kinds of sophisticated paths where I harvested things, and now I don't need it anymore, so I'm pretty sure that I have it blocked off. But this is my mass transit system. Everything in here, this was completed well before we had unlimited blocks in the creator mode. So, all this was harvested. But most of it actually came... oh, here's my... these were going to be my security sensors, inspired by the tunnels in Final Fantasy VII. Red lasers coming across. This actually is my original tunnel down. I did leave it open, just as a little reminder. But most of this bedrock wall, it came from that tunnel that I dug straight down to the bottom of the game. I went through one big layer of this stuff, and I kept everything that I got out of there. So yeah, I did this myself with all harvested stuff. This was just a little subway system. It's very laggy, obviously, because you go fast through all kinds of areas. But on playing it on the playful server, it turned black pretty much immediately, and the blocks never loaded up. You couldn't even see anything. But this was originally planned. We kind of bypassed them, but there is some exits for my buildings. Anything I can work into here, I do. But it was originally planned as whoop! I hopped out. As a way to get to my summer house, my beach house, because where I started the game is not near any beaches. So it's still going. I still placed every one of these things by hand. I harvested all this ice too, which was a nightmare. And there we go. I used this beam to figure out... I actually picked the spot for the beach house first, which I never built, by the way. And then I put a beam shining back towards my town so I could figure out how to get here. And then I worked in... I just kept going in this direction and popping up, seeing where the beam was. And that's how I built this. Oh, that's right, I don't have... creator mode on or whatever, so they're bothering me. I'm not used to that, but it's nighttime, so I guess it makes sense. So we're just gonna get away from everybody and teleport back. Even this part on unplayful servers was starting to take a while. And again, I know I have a lot going on. Again, the tunnels underneath the ground are just endless. But I couldn't even tell you how to get to them at this point. Because once I had enough that I didn't have to go digging for stuff, and then once we got all things unlocked with the creator mode, then that was it. I didn't need to go into tones anymore. So, I wish I could get into creator mode. I'm afraid of falling and dying down here. It used to be in this, but maybe it's something that I have to set up in my original host menu. So I'm going to, it was a G to fly. I'm going to try to fly when I get to the bottom, but I might die for the first time in years. There we go. Like a pro. Alright, this kind of shows you, again, that's a heal beam, but I also used it to explore. I really enjoyed flying around. There we go, there's a good shot showing a lot of the area that I've been in. I used to like to fly around and get those chests that appear down here, and I would just head in every direction until I found what direction the chests were facing, and I would just get chest after chest, and they had a lot of really good stuff in there, like extractors, and a lot of random stuff was in there too, but it was it got me pretty far in the game. That, fighting the things and getting all their stuff. They drop a ton of blocks. So this was also harvested, all of it, and that was a big pain, but it was really fun though. I know those are conflicting ideas, but so I'm going to warp back. Okay, and I think that's about the most entertaining parts of my world. Again, there's a lot underground. I don't remember how to get there to even show you that. There are some other parts. If we go to my buddy's area, he built a few more buildings. They're not far away from me, but he wanted to give me enough room because I was kind of expanding in every direction at the time. So it's a little out of my town. It doesn't blend right into my buildings or anything. But he built a house that was pretty cool. There's this little animal dungeon. I know there's a few times my daughter's left him notes in here for him to find in his house. Let me see. He has a lot of stuff built in here. I guess that's the top of the bad guy dungeon. I know he has kind of like a ski resort area. He has a bigger, better house than that one on the cliff's edge. If I could fly through the air, I'd actually show that. But besides the jetpack, I kind of got used to hovering. So, but that's about it for my world. I'll probably keep building on it. I'd like to, now that my daughters are a little older, I'd like to have them actually do some of this stuff themselves, create some stuff in here for me to make it even more of a scrapbook. Since they were around me and sitting near me when I built a bunch of it, giving me ideas, I don't think there's anything in here that they actually built. They just kind of inspired me with it, but it's been a great game. I was terrified for a long time that the server was going to shut down, maybe out of lack of players or them wanting to move on or whatever. I was hoping that Playful would come out with even more games, like if you haven't played New Super Lucky's Tale and the original The Super Lucky's Tale, absolutely fantastic games, platformers, very, very fun. I played it on the Xbox Game Pass, and great game, absolutely great game. So much effort put into it, so fun. my daughters and I laughed at a lot of stuff in it. It is a great game. So I didn't know if they were just going to put Creativerse on the back burner and then end up shutting down the server with, after no updates for a while or something, and I'd end up losing my world. So, uh, but this is it, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if anybody from Playful watches this, it should show you how much this game means to some people. And again, I have hundreds of hours in it. The only way I could contribute money was by becoming a pro member, which I did very early on. I'd say within 100 hours. Um, but thank you, and that's it. Thanks.